What, if any, is the good that has come out of this for you?
I'm clean. I will never be in another abusive relationship again. That means that I get to be the best mommy that I can be, which is the most important thing.
I understand that your son was a few days old and you were feeding him when he was removed from your care to go to kinship care.
Mhm.
What was that like?
Yes. There's not really anything that you can describe to know that feeling unless you've been through it. I've lost my mom, my dad, and my brother, and I could put all of that together and multiply it by any number that you want, and it still wouldn't be that hard. That's the worst feeling ever. Anytime you start romanticizing drug use or anything like that, you have to play the tape all the way to the end and remember what the end result of taking that one shot of dope is going to do. And that one shot of dope is going to have my boys in a dirty diaper, probably in the floor, playing with dirty spoons, eating dry cereal, probably stale. And then DSS is going to come through my front door and take them. And that's what's at the end of my tape. And that will never happen.
Where do you think all of the isolation started for you?
When, probably when I lost my home.
What led to being homeless?
My ex's drug use.
So you basically lost a lot.
Yeah. I went out to the garage one day, both my motorcycles, both my dirt bikes, my four-wheeler, all my tools just completely gone.
He had sold them.
Sold them. Mm-hmm.
And then leading up to the removal of your child, you said something really powerful. You said a lot of powerful things. I'm going to read some of them, but you said, I was just all alone in the world and he liked girls who did drugs and I wanted to be a girl that he liked and I started using drugs. In jail, you didn't get visits with your baby and you didn't know what postpartum was to get mental health. I mean, all of this, my heart just aches for you, Marie. And then in-person visits stopped during COVID and you didn't get to see your son for Christmas. I mean,
his first Christmas.
You've said, my dad was abusive. I always ended up with abusive guys. If he didn't hit me and call me names, then he didn't love me.
Right.
So let's talk just a little bit about generational trauma. For those that are not familiar with that term, it's trauma that may extend from one generation to the next. Mm-hmm. And it's why sometimes you see kids grow up in abusive homes and then have kids in foster care. Something has to break this cycle. So Marie, how has generational trauma impacted you? Has it impacted you? And if so, how?
I like toxic men. I like men that scream and yell and throw trash cans through the house, break the windows out, punch me in the face. That's just what was normal to me. I mean, he would hit us with stuff too, but if we got in trouble, it was a fist fight. Starting, my youngest that I remember doing that with him is 4 years old. Trying to fist fight a grown man that was a boxer for the Army.
Do you think having a better support system could help break the cycle of generational trauma for families?
Yes, 100%. Especially if it's had somebody caught me in my teens, it could have changed things. Because once I found myself in normal families, like my friends that had normal families, it just wasn't. I loved it and I wanted it, but at the same time, I don't know. I was used to chaos and turmoil.
So nationally, only about 50% of children reunify with their parents, which is a crazy statistic and honestly sad. So when FGI looked at that statistics, they were like, we need to do something. We need to innovate an idea to help those families. That's where Moms Matter came in. Mm-hmm. And so they provide that peer-to-peer support group to help more moms reunify and stay with their children. Yeah.
We meet regularly every week, and non-judgmental. We can talk about anything. It should be mandatory that the mother's given an entrance into Moms Matter, because it's a game changer.
Some of the things I've heard you mention that you did to get your son back, you worked on, you had drug classes, parenting classes, PTI, which is pretrial intervention, community service, the domestic violence class, which was 30 plus weeks. You worked full time, you saved all your money. You had 2 visits a week and drove an hour there and an hour back to spend an hour with him.
In a Target.
Right. You got your own place now. And then I think one of the most remarkable things that I've heard you say is that you lived out of your truck for 6 months in the dead of winter. That's a lot of hard work. Why did you live out of your truck for 6 months?
Because I didn't want to move in with a man. I didn't want, a man's the easiest thing in the world to get, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I mean, I wanted something my boys could be proud of. My boys did not deserve for my focus to be on a man and keeping him happy so that I had a place to live. I needed to focus on them and myself, and here I am.
So you had a second caseworker, Frankie, who would come to your victims classes when you were homeless, and she believed in you.
Yeah.
What was that like? How did that change things for you?
It was a turning point, because when I met her, the first thing she said was, my job is to reunify families.
One person can make a big difference.
All the difference.
Yeah. And so your child left in February 2019, was gone for 18 long months, made longer by COVID.
Yes.
Now let's talk about him coming home. What emotions did you experience when your child returned home?
All of them. I mean, I was so overjoyed and just so, it was the best day. Next to him being born, it was the best day of my life.
You're doing some big stuff to make a different future for your kids. Tell us what's going on there.
I'm taking the GED, one test at a time. I've passed the language arts and the social studies. And as soon as I can line up a babysitter for the boys, I'm going to take the science.
What, if any, is the good that has come out of this for you?
I'm clean. I will never be in another abusive relationship again. And with those two things being said, that means that I get to be the best mommy that I can be, which is the most important thing.
So how do you think foster parents and kinship parents can have a better connection with the child's parents?
Just care about them. You supporting me doesn't take anything away from that child. You supporting me gives everything to that child.
And you've said, and I echo this, when a family is supported through healthy relationships, the child is supported. When we care for the family, we can change outcomes, systems, and even generations, which is really powerful to think about.
Right. Yeah. And all it takes is just caring about, the monster,
So is there any hope you'd like to give to those parents that are right now working to reunify with a child in foster care or kinship care?
You can do it. You just have to. It sucks. It does. It's a long process. None of it's fun. Your feelings are all over the map, especially if you, postpartum like I was. But you have to take care of you. And you can't be angry at DSS. Even if they do you dirty, I mean, it's our fault that our kids are there, and we have to own that responsibility. No matter what, you have to own your own role in it. And if you are going to stop, then just stop right where you're at and don't put the kids through anymore, because it's hard on them, but do it. It's so worth it.
And for those of you who are watching, if you want to be a part of contributing hope and support in foster care, or you want to make a referral to our Moms Matter program, you can visit fgi4kids.org.